you know, I don't talk about this whole Black Panther and this guy that shot a 17-year-old black boy. I don't know the names or the whole story. I didn't think it really concerned me. But apparently it does, because it involves one of my favorite laws, the Stand Your Ground law. And unfortunately, it's one of the few beacons of proletariat laws that we have. It's one of the few things we have where we can invoke it when we so happen to defend ourselves against a bourgeoisie piece of shit. I don't think it's needed to defend yourself against prowlers, burglars, rapists, things like that. I don't think those issues are as big as the conservative right makes them out to be. And any time those issues are a big deal, it is only because of the capitalist environment that they even sprout up. So, the point of the Stand Your Ground law is that you have a sovereign right to defend yourself. And if at any time you feel threatened, you should invoke that right, and you should take down your assailant. And that is part of the reason why I am linking you to software like High Impact Orbit Cannon, Low Impact Orbit Cannon, etc. I am standing my ground. I cannot physically assault people. I don't know where they live. And, it would be too much trouble to find out. But they have attacked me. So, by the law, I'm of legal grounds to defend myself. And I plan to. So, if I ever do see them, I will probably hurt them. And I will stand my ground. But my point is that I think this whole debacle is to try to erase this law, because that's what the bourgeoisie want. They want to get rid of what little self-defense we have legally, because, physically we can always defend ourselves, but legally, it's very rare that we get the opportunity, and legality affects mentally. If we don't believe we legally have the right, we are conditioned into mentally believing we don't have the right, and then we act upon that. And then people become docile and weak and submissive. It's a subversion of the workers. It's a subversion of this idea that you have dignity and self-respect. Act like it. And unfortunately, I think this whole thing is being built up on purpose to suggest that we don't have a right to defend ourselves when we are being attacked, whether it be physically, emotionally, whatever. So, what I'm saying here is that I respect the new Black Panther Party. I think they do good things. They're sincere, they're honest, they're proud people, and I wish more people were like them. However, I do admire the Stand Your Ground law, or as I like to call it, the Han shoots first law, and I would never want to see it gone away. I don't know for certain if the new Black Panther Party wants it gone away either. I just know that they are pissed off about how some guy exploited the law to shoot a 17-year-old black boy that posed no actual threat to him or to anybody else. And that goes beyond vigilante justice. Vigilante justice would be him taking the law into his own hands because he either didn't trust the law or he didn't feel the law was competent enough. And if the 17-year-old boy had been arrested and tried and found innocent, and then he took it upon himself to shoot him, that would be vigilante justice. What this guy did was just cold-blooded murder. That's all. Because there was no semblance of need to shoot him. He posed no threat to anybody. Now, mind you, the people that I talk about do pose threats to people. But that's a different story. My point is that this guy is probably just a racist, and probably just killed this black kid because he didn't like black people. Maybe he thought this black kid was a punk, or whatever word reactionaries like to use, and just decided to shoot him. And use this law as a scapegoat. And in doing so, on purpose, they will want to abolish this law. They will want to, strip it off the record, and then the rest of us have to suffer because of it. No. That guy is just an asshole. He's a bastard, he's a racist, and, he's just a murderer. Do I think he should go to jail? I don't know. Because if he goes to jail, that implies that there is something wrong with the stand your ground law. And I don't think there is. So, while I feel bad for the guy in question, for the little boy, I don't want to give any leverage to this idea that the stand your ground law is wrong. And so I think the new Black Panther Party is acting in perfect rationality about this issue. Rather than say that the law is wrong, rather than say that he exploited some loophole in it so that they edit it so that the workers cannot use it to their advantage, the new Black Panther Party is merely calling for this guy's bounty, and they'll take care of him. And, I would rather the state be on our side. I would rather the state represent us and protect us, but they are as afraid as we are. And I have thought about putting that in my book about how, the government is just people. They're just like people like you and me. And people can be bribed, they can be persuaded, and they can be intimidated. If you were offered $20 million in a brown paper bag to vote the way they wanted you to, wouldn't you probably do it? Don't give me this high ground, more moral than thou bullshit that you would be ideological and you would stick to your convictions. When confronted with that kind of money to your face, I sincerely doubt most of you would stick to the party, stick to the convictions. However, if you were to be loyal, it does not necessarily mean you would be successful either, because they will make sure of it. These powerful, rich people will wipe the floor with you. They will make sure you don't get reelected, and if need be, they will kill you. So, it's not exactly as easy to say that if you just stick to your convictions, everything will work out in the end. And these people have families. They have self-preservation. So, the fear of losing their life or their face, losing their entire hard work and all the self-image they've created for themselves, losing that honor of being a good person and everyone looking at them like a scumbag is a lot to take in. It's a lot on the line, and they're not willing to sacrifice that. Is it wrong? Yes. But it's not ununderstandable. It's completely understandable that, they're just too scared to do anything because the elite are that powerful, where the government is secondary, and the government has to tiptoe around what the corporations want, or they're not going to do business with the government, and they will find someone that will. There are scab politicians that will replace the good-hearted, convicted, good guys that want to change things for the better. So that's why I don't blame government, even for its corruption, even for its lies, because I know how this all works. And, it would be nice if the government just ignored the corporate rule and just, did what was right and didn't worry about the consequences. But that's not realistic. And so unfortunately, when we can use the law to our advantage, when they can squeeze in something that is the dictatorship of the proletariat, good. But we cannot rely on it completely. We cannot say that, the law is all-knowing and all good. But the government is authentically the best thing we have. But we have to have our individuality. We have to have that recognition that we are people, and we are endowed with certain inalienable rights. We are human beings, we are men and women, we have feelings, we have ambitions, we have experiences, we have, lives, and all of that should be appreciated. And unfortunately, no one is going to do that for you. No one is selfless enough, no one is compassionate enough, no one is just moral enough to leave you the hell alone. To let you live your life the way you so choose, and to do a job, and to basically just carry on. There's not a whole lot of people like that in the world, and that's just the sick reality. The sick reality is most people are fucking evil. It goes beyond just they're short-sighted. It goes beyond just their condition that way. I mean, to some extent, it's because of that. But deep down, most people are just really, really evil. because there is no excuse for half the shit they do, half the shit they put up with. There's no amount of conditioning, fear, or selfish gain that can justify all of that evil. It can justify some of it, but not nearly all of it. And so you have to assert the fact that people are evil. And if you know people are evil, then you know that government waters that down. It filters some of that evil. But there's still going to be a lot of evil. So you have to be different. You have to be opposed to evil directly. So that's all I have to say for now.